is a beautiful day, and I welcome you to Your Image, your flagship program on public relations. Today, I'm glad to have important personalities here gathered, particularly to discuss the issue of social media regulation. And the issue is that we are going to look at the moral and structural question. Well, we are in a modern world, and with the way we operate, technology is changing the face of communication. It's changing the face of interaction. It's modifying the way business are done. And it's also giving us a new way of ensuring that government is made open. Governance is made open. Today, I have the Assistant Commandant General of the Security and Management College. Oh, I'm having the Commandant, Assistant Controller, Commandant General, sorry, of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, in person, and person occupying the Provost of the Security and Management College. Yes. It's a training college, and I also have with me Madam RACHEAL AWOSUSI. You're welcome. RACHEAL. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
Even at short notice. Here. We appreciate your coming.
God bless you, sir.
And on my immediate right, I have JAMIU FOLARIN. He's a communication lecturer at the CRESCENT University, ABEOKUTA here. You're welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here once again.
Yeah, I want to welcome you once again back to Nigeria.
Thank you so much.
It's like you don't want to stay in Nigeria again.
It's our father's land that we will stay to build our dear country.
Thank you so much. I also have with me a regular guest. He's a known face, and I want to say he's a great communicator, a man who we appreciate so much, Pastor AROWOJOLU.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, the topic was,
pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much for being with us. The topic once again is social media regulation, the moral and structural question. Yes, we have seen what the social media is doing. Permit me to ask, let me start from my immediate right, JAMIU FOLARIN. What do we really understand by social media?
Okay, thank you once again. This is a very important topic at this time, where the issue of social media is affecting virtually all strata of our society. You hardly talk about any sector of the Nigerian society without a mention of how information is being shared. And social media, for us to understand it well, we need also to understand how the internet works. The internet before the arrival of social media is called Web 1.0. And what we mean by this Web 1.0 is where we have a website without interactivity. And when internet was given back to, what we have then is just a platform, a website, where you just post your content, especially for newspaper organizations that post their contents of hard copy onto their website. But later, as internet advances, there was in US, there was a particular US university that conducted a research and came up with that app called social media. And this internet now is, initially it was used by the US as a form of military activities, but later it has now turned to what we call social media. So the internet migrated, issue of website from Web 1.0 migrated to Web 2.0. And this Web 2.0, the defining characteristics is issue of interactivity. So interactivity stems from your ability to manipulate, create content. Unlike before where you have a website that you will not be able to interact with. So as a result of this, we now have lot of platforms that enables users to, one, create, two, share, and be able to network. So those are the three key characteristics that make up social media. So social media is your ability to create content, to share that content and also to be able to network. So as the birth of social media, we call it Web 2.0. Web 2.0, what defines social media is interactivity. Your ability to share information, your ability to create content, unlike before. Let's look at the background of issue of conventional media. There are two basic concepts that we define conventional media then. And what people have been agitating and clamoring for, especially the issue of free speech, liberalization of communication system, is the ability of people to create content. That the issue of, for example, if you look at Nigeria 1999 Constitution, it gives every citizen the ability to share information. But this ability is limited in such a way that the ownership of radio, ownership of TV, among others, is restricted to those that have the ability, capability, financial muscle to do that. But with liberalization, everyone now has the ability to share information. And this was enabled through the technology of Web 2.0 that enabled interactivity. And this interactivity now gave birth to social media platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, among others. So your ability to social media, in essence, can be summarized as a platform, a website, an application that enable users to create and to spread or share information and create networking. So that's what social media is all about.
Thank you very much for the full explanation. It was very foundational. And well, Ayo, when you look at the array of social media tools that we have, don't you foresee serious challenges?
Well, let me say first that I want to thank our academic for taking us back to the classroom.
I should be doing that.
If you talk about social media, you cannot but talk about the conventional media. Where are we coming from? Okay. Communication itself is a process of, disseminating or transferring ideas, feelings, attitudes, from one person to another or group of persons. When you are talking about the media of communication, you are talking about platforms, essentially. You are talking about channels. In the past, we rely on radio, newspapers, magazine, and television to communicate. You recall that those days, if you are talking about the radio, for instance, radio used to be Asoro Magbisi. That is, they dish out information to us.
Without any feedback?
No feedback. Okay. So that feedback capability, to me, is what differentiates the social media. Social media, like he said, you have to create content, share the content created, and interact. So the interact.
Yeah, what are the challenges?
The challenges is that, it's everybody. Everybody is doing this. Unlike in the conventional media, an established organization does that.
And that's the role of gatekeeper.
So that role of gatekeeper is likely absent now. I was refreshed by the comment.
Well, but not absolutely.
Well, the Information Commissioner, Alhaji Wahid Odushile, was present at the pen pushing. He was talking about, very refreshing, speech he gave. But when you came to the issue of citizen journalism, I owe a different, viewpoint. Because what is journalism itself? Journalism is, communicating, is collating, analyzing, disseminating an information, But when you now say citizen journalism or citizen journalists are not journalists. I disagree. There have been positive effects, you know, of citizen journalism. They will be in a place where the average journalist cannot be. And they have been able to push out and share content that even the traditional media will rely upon.
But if you look at the challenges that is supposed to come with the new media that we are talking about, you know, the space is now open to everybody. Business people, community people, individual government, even organizations who are also organizing these social media tools or search engine operators. You see that we said the role of the gatekeeper is restricted nowadays, and you now have a kind of society that is open. Don't you foresee abuses?
There may be abuse, even with the conventional media. But you see, we must know that every society has its own constitution. He was delving into that area that the Constitution provides, you know, rights to free speech. The Constitution provides, you know, access to information, then freedom of expression. Somebody wrote on it, was Professor Oloyede, who wrote a book, Dismantling the Culture of Silence. If society must progress, then the culture of silence must be dismantled. One fundamental definition of news that I still hold dear to my heart after about 37 years is that news is what somebody is trying to cover, okay, and which you are trying to uncover. Ordinarily, governments, particularly in Africa, want to oppress, want to cover information that are important. Like he said, the social media...
I guess it's not in all situations.
Anyway, the social media has created an avenue for citizens to participate in governance. You see, the idea of governance is like in the multitude of cancer, there is safety. No society ever progresses without, you know, a multiplicity of ideas. A society does not grow by the idea of one person. Now, there are abuse, no doubt about that, but we learn, we'll go as it by and by. I want to say that what happens in Nigeria when there are attempts to regulate, there should be a difference between regulation and censoring. Censoring is trying to oppress, to suppress something. Regulation is trying to moderate. Let me just...
Okay, it's all right. We'll come back to you, but let me shift a little bit to direct my next question to the Provost, College of Security and Management Unit of the Management of the NSCDC. Yes, that's talking about the Assistant Commandant General, RACHEAL, AWOSUSI. Madam.
Yes, sir.
You've been listening to them, and they've been saying a lot concerning the importance of the social media nowadays, and how it's helping government, how it's helping individuals to open gates, and no one is now restricted to use those social media tools. What are the security implications to this openness?
Yes. Thank you for this. One thing I want you to know is that social media is part of security agency.
Oh, really?
Now, yes.
Okay.
I will get back to that place. When we are talking about security, we know that security is not just ordinary thing. It's a thing we want to know that it's an awareness. We need to know what happens all around us. We need to be conscious of all these things that happens, and to be conscious of it is to know what are these insecurity that is happening within an environment, in a society, or even the world, in the whole world. Then, who are the perpetrators? How are they perpetrating? When are they perpetrating? What are the methods they are using? What are the tools they are using? Then we need to be proactive. And to be proactive is what brought in the media, the agencies, even the grassroots, even the others. Now, we are talking about the social media and linking it to their parts played in security matter. For example, if there's anything that happened in a place, the police or the security agencies will be there at the site of the incident. They get the information. They go back to their offices. If there's any arrest, they interrogate, they interview. They get the information from all these, maybe CCTV or whatever, whereby they will get the exact thing that happened. But there's one problem that we used to have, that media men, some of these media men, they don't bother to know or to connect the security operatives to know what are the problems. Once they just hear something has happened, they've killed person, they started carrying it onto the media. Hey, 10 people have been killed, 20 people have been killed. What happened? They will say, they will be putting things together that they don't know about. Also, all these things, we still need the media men to collaborate very well with the...
Madam, sorry, don't you think that probably because of the late response or creative activity of the security outfit, because they are the ones who are supposed to have given the fact sheet of all the incidents to the media.
Yes, sir.
So if that is lacking, then you have given them
It is not lacking, sir.
Okay.
It is not lacking in the sense that once they are in the site of incident, they need to get some facts before they will start talking. And with the facts they are getting, that is where the India men supposed to relate, supposed to collaborate with them to know the facts before they started giving out the information. The information the media men are given without getting the facts is what is creating fears in the public, that makes the public to feel, they have killed, it is happening. Whereas it may just be few people, maybe some are affected, maybe because of fear, some people will collapse, some people. So that the media men, they will just carry and start putting it to the society, and the society will start running up and down of what they don't even know the effect or how it happened. But if they are patient enough and wait for everything to be settled, and they now carry it, you will find out that the society will not be in such a panicking way. They will not be in such a situation whereby they will not, many of them will not be able to control their mind or themselves.
So what do you now see as the moral obligation of all of us?
The moral implication of it is one, the media men need to at least have patience to consult and collaborate with the security people that are there in the site, that saw the old, and we are able to get the information from whatever gadgets around and people around that they are investigated, and even from the people that they arrested. They need to get the information and know the fact, and they are there to see what really happened, the instruments used, everything, before they can start talking. Within a minute, they've started putting it on the wall, on their wall, and started alerting people, and people started running about, thinking about, the war has come, whereas maybe it has caused by, maybe somebody affected another person or provoked somebody, and that person now, and people are reacting. That is what, but before you know, they say, maybe it is a, maybe it is a this. They will not even wait to know exactly what happened. And they will be talking about the numbers that they without even waiting. So all these things, they need to calm down and allow, and you know that the media has a lot to do, because when the security have gotten every information, it's the media that will alert the public, it's the media that will sensitize the public, it's the media that will sanitize. So they need to wait there at the end of everything to let all the public know exactly what has happened.
Thank you very much.
The security cannot go everywhere, but their papers, their news, their everything go far away.
Thank you very much. Let me come back to you, JAMIU, because there has been a challenge here. What's your own take? Is the role of the media to blow things out of proportion or to report actual happening?
Okay, thank you. We are looking at social media, and just like my senior colleague, I will call him my senior colleague, mentioned, you cannot be talking about social media without talking about the media, and that's why Madam mentioned about the role of the media in our society. The media has a vital role to play when it comes to issue of social responsibility. And the challenge we are having on the irresponsible use of social media these days now emphasize the importance of the mainstream media. And when we talk about the mainstream media, we're talking about radio, TV, newspaper, magazine, among others. Now people are in the state of uncertainties. And when you are in the state of uncertainties, you move to certainties. This is the time where the role of the mainstream media is more important than before. Because the challenge we are having, especially on social media these days, is irresponsible use of the social media. And until people come to realize that there are consequences for actions. For example, we are talking about your image here, and your image matters a lot. And as an individual, what we must take note is that every click on the internet, you are leaving a footprint. Because whatever content you promote will either haunt you or will add value to your personality. So as a result of it, we must be conscious, we must be responsible in the use of social media. And false information is now the order of the day because of the liberalization of the social media. Unlike before, just like I mentioned earlier, where people have limitation, and you mentioned the issue of gatekeeping. The media gatekeep. Not all sorts of information. Whether we like it or not, the mainstream media are still responsible, are still professional, compared to all manners of information that you find on social media, whether verified or not verified, whether genuine or not genuine. So it is the duty of the mainstream media now. Professional journalists, he said there's nothing, or people say there's nothing like citizen journalism. Just like one professor, Ralph Akifeleyo, we call them information traffickers. Because just like someone mentioned at the program today that we cannot have citizen doctor, we cannot have citizen lawyers. So why should we have citizen journalists? The difference between this is just basically because the provisional, constitutional provision established not only for journalists. That section 22, section 39 of the 1999 Constitution on freedom of expression is not limited to journalists. Also, citizens, they have the liberty to spread information, but they should do it responsibly.
Thank you very much. Thank you. They should do it responsibly. Ayo, just quickly on this moral question.
Okay. Well, we have established that we have a challenge in our hand. Okay. As Madam has said concerning security, nobody will wait for the security agencies to take their time. You know, busting crime or combating crime also has to do with speed. There are issues of timeliness here. And we must give it, like Madam said, the security agencies cannot be everywhere. No. But social media has also helped them. There was a case in Port Harcourt. Somebody butchered his girlfriend and packaged in, and got a keke napep person to, drop it somewhere. No eye. Nobody else saw them. It was until the next day when people were looking at those things. You see, the security agencies have to thank the social media people and see how they can collaborate together to make sure that they deliver.
So social media has a good place in our society.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, AROWOJOLU. Well, we will have to stop here.
And let me maybe quickly.
We will have to, madam, we will continue next week. We will have to stop here. Next week we'll be looking at the structural question, and then we'll be looking at other areas on the issue. I want to thank Madam, the Provost,
College of Security,
College of
Management.
Security and College of Security Management of the NSCDC, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps. Oh, thank you so much for coming. I also like to thank JAMIU FOLARIN. They always appreciate it. Ayo, yeah, thank you. I know you cannot be afraid. You always have a better time.